All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a skill that's frankly becoming essential for anyone who uses AI, prompt engineering. We're going to break down how you can stop getting those weird, confusing results and start crafting prompts like a pro. Prompts that give you exactly what you're looking for. So let's just jump right in. So let me ask you something. Have you ever typed a question into an AI, maybe Gemini or another tool, and the answer you get back is just bizarre? Or totally unhelpful, or even flat out wrong? Yeah, it's a super common frustration. You know the tool is incredibly powerful, but it feels like you're just not speaking its language. Well, the good news is you're definitely not alone, and there is a way to fix it.
And this right here is the most important thing to get your head around. Prompting isn't some kind of dark art reserved for programmers or data scientists. No, you don't need to be a machine learning engineer. Literally everyone can write a prompt. The real skill, the secret sauce, is learning how to craft them effectively. And that's exactly what we're going to dig into today. Okay, so Section 1. Why do prompts fail in the first place? Well, to write a good prompt, you got to understand why a bad one, well, bombs. At its very core, you have to remember that a large language model is basically just a super advanced prediction engine. It's not thinking like a human, it's just guessing the next most likely word based on all the patterns it's learned from mountains of text data. So when you give it a vague or confusing prompt, yep, the kind that gives you those weird answers we talked about, you're just not giving it enough clues to make a good guess. It's that simple.
All right, Section 2. This is where things get really interesting. We're going to learn how to control the AI's creativity. Now, I want you to think about interacting with an AI less like giving a command and more like you're in a studio, adjusting a series of dials that control the final output. Once you know what these dials do, you can go from getting totally random results to creating something really intentional and specific. Let's take a look at the most important dials on our control board.
So the main creativity dial you'll use is called temperature. And the best way to think about it is like a thermostat, but for randomness. So if you set that temperature all the way down to 0, the AI becomes completely predictable, totally deterministic. This is perfect for factual stuff, right? Like asking for the capital of a country. But as you start to turn that temperature dial up, you're allowing for more unexpected, more creative word choices. This is awesome for things like brainstorming marketing slogans or writing a poem.
Now, before that temperature dial even comes into play, there are two other settings you can use to kind of narrow down the AI's options first. They're called Top K and Top P. Think of it this way. Top K is like telling the AI, hey, only pick from your top 10 most likely next words. That's it. Top P is a little more flexible. It's like saying, give me the smallest group of top words that add up to a 90% chance of being right. You know? Both are just different ways to filter the pool of possible words before the temperature setting gets a chance to get creative.
So here's how it all fits together. It's a really simple two-step process. Step 1. Top K or Top P act as a filter. They create a short list of sensible words for the AI to choose from. Then Step 2. Temperature comes in and samples from that filtered list to pick the final word. See how that works? By combining these settings, you get a crazy amount of control over the AI's tone, its creativity, and its precision. All right, moving on to Section 3. Now, adjusting those dials is super powerful, don't get me wrong. But the real magic, the next level stuff, happens when you stop just telling the AI what to do and you start showing it. This technique is called few-shot prompting, and trust me, it is an absolute game changer.
Just take a look at this pizza ordering example. The user doesn't just say, parse this order for me. No, what they do is they provide a couple of examples of an order and the exact JSON output format they want back. So when that final, much more complicated order comes in, the one for a half and half pizza, the AI has already learned the pattern. It knows exactly how to structure the output because you've already taught it what good looks like. You've shown it the format by example. Okay, Section 4. So we can control creativity, we can provide examples, that's great. But what about tasks that need, actual reasoning? This is where large language models often stumble, and stumble hard. So let's look at some really cool advanced techniques that don't just guide the AI, but actually get it to think step by step. All right, let's try a little brain teaser. Ready?
When I was 3 years old, my partner was 3 times my age. Now I am 20 years old. How old is my partner? Now, if you just throw this exact question at a standard LLM, it tends to get pretty confused. It sees the numbers 20 and 3, and it just tries to do some simple but wrong math with them.
And what you'll probably get back is a wildly incorrect answer, something like 63. So what happened? Well, the model isn't actually reasoning about the age difference staying constant over time. It's just doing a flawed calculation based on the numbers it saw in the prompt. This is a classic failure for LLMs. But there is a surprisingly elegant fix.
The solution is this incredible technique called chain of thought prompting, or COT for short. And it's shockingly simple. All you do is add a little phrase to your prompt, something like, "Let's think step by step." That's it. This simple instruction forces the model to slow down and, well, write out its thinking process, kind of like how we work through a math problem on paper. It has to show its work before it gives the final answer. And just look at the result. This is the aha moment. By asking it to think step by step, the AI lays it all out. 1. When I was 3, my partner was 3 times 3, which is 9 years old. 2. The age difference is 6 years, and it's constant. 3. So now that I'm 20, my partner must be 20 plus that 6-year difference, which is 26. The correct answer. This is so powerful. You've basically taught the model how to reason its way to the right conclusion. And for problems that are even more complex, you can take this a step further with a technique called tree of thoughts. Now, look at this diagram. A normal chain of thought on the left, it just follows one single path of reasoning. But tree of thoughts on the right, well, it's like a super-powered version. It lets the model explore multiple reasoning paths all at the same time. It can generate a few different ideas, evaluate them, throw out the bad ones, those are the red branches, and then keep building on the promising ones in green. It's like it's building a whole decision tree to find the absolute best path forward.
Phew, okay. Section 5. We have covered a lot of ground here. So let's pull all of this together into one final actionable checklist. This is your expert playbook, the stuff you can use to start crafting better prompts, like right now.
Here it is, your expert playbook. 5 key things. Number 1, provide examples. One shot, few shot. Just show it what you want. Number 2, be incredibly specific about the output. Do you want JSON, a bulleted list, a single paragraph? Tell it. Number 3, use instructions, not constraints. Do this is always better than don't do that. Number 4, make the AI think step by step. If there's any logic involved, use chain of thought. And finally, number 5, document your attempts. When a prompt works, save it. You'll thank yourself later. So, at the end of the day, prompt engineering isn't magic, right? It's a structured, totally learnable skill. And it's the thing that transforms an AI from a quirky, unpredictable novelty into a genuinely powerful and reliable tool. You now have the playbook. You know how to control its creativity, how to format its output, and even how to guide its reasoning. So the only question left to ask is, now that you can engineer a prompt, what are you going to create?